Guys, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's Spotlight on Ashley Bornancin. We're going to talk Camp WWE. We're going to talk her brand new web series, We're Not Friends, and so much more, so stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Mama don't like you and she likes everyone. There we go. There we go. See, guys, it was a party in here. Like, we had to take it down a little bit. We're gonna get back up. We had to take it down a little bit because it was getting to be a dance party in here. Guys, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Spotlight on. I am Ty Matthews. Y'all can find me on social media at Ty Matthews PMA. But joining me is the absolutely amazing, lovely, talented guys. This is Ashley Bornancin.
Thank you, Ty.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
This Ashley, you can catch her on Camp WWE. She's the voice of John Cena, the voice of The Rock. We'll talk about that. She's also got a brand new web series called We're Not Friends that's dropping, did you say next week?
Yes.
First episode next week?
Yeah, our trailer is on YouTube, just launched today.
Just today?
Yeah. And you were watching it.
See, you know what? I'm getting into the beams.
I know.
It was the perfect way to start.
I'm kind of okay with this.
You know? Just keep it going the whole time.
I'm so glad we had input on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how we do it here. You can have it your way. It's like Burger King and AFTERBUZZ TV.
Your way.
You can have beebs if you like. But Ashley, let's start, of course, with Camp WWE.
Perfect. Let's do it.
I host the Monday Night Raw after show elsewhere here on this network.
Yeah.
And so obviously I was super excited about this opportunity because that show is absolutely phenomenal. And we were talking a little bit outside of the studio, off mic, that at first glance, fans of WWE, people that have the WWE network, might be more used to their TV PG programming, which Camp WWE is decidedly not.
Yeah.
It is a very
switching it up.
Very much TVMA. Tell me about kind of the vibe of the show and getting used to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like so fun and so cool. You're with such funny like writers and everyone's so chill, and Stupid Buddy Studios is so not like your typical studio.
Right.
Like there's race car tracks and like everyone's so chill. I like eat Skittles in between takes. Like everyone is the coolest. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did it all come about? How did your involvement come about? I know you originally read for Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, I did.
Rather than The Rock and John Cena. Tell me about how you first how the role came about, and then how you approached these different roles.
Sure. So first I auditioned for Stephanie and Bree and Nikki, and I had a call back, so they brought me into the session with producers, and I was like, oh, who are the producers? I should do my research like a good actor.
Sure.
And I saw it was Seth Green, and I was like, like, is this right? And then I looked over, and I was like, oh no, that's Seth Green.
That's the guy.
This is real. And like immediately you go in, and it's not weird, or it's not like it's your boss. You just like went in and had a bunch of different kind of improvising that we did and lots of fun stuff with that. But then they on the spot go, can you do like an 8-year-old boy? And he's gonna be like the kid who's always trying to do good, but everyone kind of hates, but like loves, and the glasses half full.
Super earnest.
Exactly. And I was like, that's the characters I play in normal life. So I just kind of made something up on the spot, and I just started improvising with them, and they were laughing a ton. And I think they brought me back in again. And then it was kind of like, okay, see you when I see you type of thing.
Sure.
And then the next week they're like, you have an audition for The Rock. And I was like, no, like this is silly. Like I'm not going to book The Rock.
Right.
And it literally was like, I watched the video of The Rock. I knew The Rock.
What video did you watch?
Just whatever clip they sent me. It was just like him going crazy.
What it was?
He was just like, oh, you jabronis, you know?
Sure.
And I was like, okay, sure. Like, I'm not, again, like I had no confidence. I went into my studio I record in sometimes and did the audition, sent it off, and they're like, you have a callback for The Rock. I'm like, what is this? I do not. And I went in, and it was like the most fun audition. I started improvising with them, saying all these just like crazy things, like celebrity references, and sometimes, like, for improvisers, your mind just gets so clear, and all of a sudden you feel like a really smart person.
Sure.
Because everything you remember just, like, floods
You're
back
like Neo in The Matrix. You just see the code of everything.
Yeah, like, I just saw, well, I've seen it a bunch, but I just rewatched Limitless with Bradley Cooper. And
there
I was
you
like,
go.
Sometimes that happens to me when I am improvising. And
do you remember any of the stuff you were saying?
And I was just like James Franco! and like just all this stuff. I was like, give me some candy, and like. And they were like, oh my gosh, that was so good. Send everyone home. They said that. And I was like, but really, let's do
guys,
that.
Can we do that?
Yeah, I was on such a high.
Right.
And I was like, I feel like I could book this. And again, I left, and it was probably like a week later that they were like, you're on a veil. Which means like
available.
That means like, okay, you might have booked it, but might have not. And I had asked like a coach I work with, I was like, hey, like what can I do to like stand out, to send a thank you? And they were like, you should order the pet rock. And my awesome coach, his name is Ben Whitehair, he's fantastic. And so I ordered the pet rock, and I put like candy in a shoebox, and I put my face on the rock's body. And I was like, wait, I'm on a veil. Like, we got to get this to the studio ASAP.
Sure.
And so I told my friend, I will get you froyo if you take me to the studio and deliver my pet rock in a janky shoebox.
Yeah.
And she did. And we got froyo, and I made a little dance, and I was like the happiest person just because I delivered the rock to the studio.
Yeah.
And I put like 2 Seth Green and Aaron Blitzstein. It was like just so stupid. And they were like, you booked the rock. And I was like, sick.
How long did you have to wait before you heard that?
It was 4 hours. Like 4 hours in between being on a veil and hearing that.
In between delivering the rock and being the rock?
Yes.
Got it.
I'm so glad it wasn't like Paramount or something where they like actually let me just drive up to the studio. Like Paramount, if you, like no one's gonna let you do that.
Right.
But Stupid Buddy, why not? And they were like, but you also might do John Cena too. Like just might. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the day one, they're like, okay, you're doing John Cena. He's series regular. Rock is recurring. And I was like, oh, I didn't know this was such a big deal. Like,
right?
Sweet.
John Cena has, he kind of has a role to play in the WWE.
So, but I didn't realize, like, they'd book me.
Sure.
Like, it was literally the day of the booking. They're like, you're John Cena. I was like, okay. But it was so fun. So fun. It's been, like, the best experience of my life.
When you're approaching voices like that, that are kind of versions of real people, how much do you incorporate their actual voice into it?
Well,
and how do you like youngify voices like John Cena?
Well,
and The
I
Rock?
think like because I have such a young voice, like that is already gonna happen.
That's what comes through for sure.
It's not. I'm not gonna sound just like John Cena. So that's like already happening. So layer that, and then you try to like study their cadence and just like how they say things and their little like yo homie. Like I would put in a lot of that in my improvising.
Okay.
So it's like like you're starting to see the character more than like you impersonating them. And a lot of that was happening, but me like pretending to be them was already sounding like a little kid pretending to be someone, so it was like, okay, yeah, that works. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we talked about how kind of people were really kind of blindsided by it, and how mature and just how hilarious and smartly written it was.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think it's become quite as popular as it's been?
Yeah, I think it's gonna blow up. Like I think it's so popular because it's obviously catering to the WWE audience, and people there's such a massive following. They have such dedicated viewers, but it's just such a funny show on its own. It really stands alone. So if you don't know anything about WWE, you can watch it and be like, I just love these characters, and everything's still so funny. Like if you know WWE, you might catch on a little like the Rusty Road and like things like that. But if you don't, it's still going to be really funny because the writers are, Aaron Blitzstein and this whole team, Seth Green and all these people who write for Robot Chicken and Family Guy. Like, you're in good hands.
Exactly.
And they know comedy. So they're not just trying to appeal to WWE. Like, everyone is going to love the show because it's just so funny and fun,
Absolutely, yeah. Is there a specific line that you delivered at any point during these 5 episodes?
I should have prepared.
That is like your absolute. I'm not going to tell you to do it, but just a line that was like your absolute favorite. That was like so much fun. That always gets a laugh out of you.
Yeah, a lot of the runs, because sometimes we'll just like
fun run.
Just keep going. Yeah, like Amy Poehler did that, and Tina Fey did that in SNL. And there's one that was in, I think, like episode 3 or 4, and they just kept it, and it was so fun to see. I was like, I don't know, you're to me like Mr. McMahon, like I don't know, you want me to do that? Okay, shh. And like I do that in real life, and that's why it like came out like that. Yeah, I was like, because I always like feel awkward, and I just like shh my friends, and they were like, you do that all the time. That's so weird, but it was so fun.
And now it's little 8-year-old John Cena doing it.
And like there's just so many like. Oh, it's hard. Like, I love seeing John Cena play against Vince McMahon, especially.
Right,
because
definitely.
he's incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially, Vince as Vince McMahon.
Yeah, it's just like so funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Voice acting, it seems so competitive, and it seems so kind of cutthroat.
Yes.
And I know at one point you had mentioned something that it takes, what is it? It takes 100 auditions to get a callback,
Yeah.
3 callbacks to get it to land a gig.
One of my animation coaches told me that from
Right.
early on. It actually made me feel better because at first when I started auditioning and I had already trained in voiceovers like in Seattle and in with all my coaches here, and I just wasn't even getting like repped. And eventually when I did and I started auditioning, I was like, I'm not getting like anything. Like,
Sure.
you kind of get nervous. You're like, I'm gonna get dropped.
Right. Why do I keep
Yeah.
doing this?
But then I realized the ratio, I'm like, oh, this is really hard. Like this is, and you have to bring that competitive edge, and it takes time to develop that over, it's over time you develop that competitive edge by working with people.
Sure.
And you don't just like in on-camera acting, like you don't just look at a script and like, you're not able to just, like you really have to bring your whole body, you have to bring everything to it, and that just takes time. And constantly working on it consistently. But I can't tell you how many auditions I've auditioned for.
Oh, sure.
Like and then I watch some characters, and I'm like, oh, I sort of just like them.
Right.
But like everything happens for a reason.
But it's that philosophy that keeps you going through times like that, right?
Because like and it could have been like the simplest thing that just separated you, but it's like, okay, that wasn't meant for you, and
Right.
like that's that person. And I do think there's something different in the voice world where people are just very nice and super supportive because a lot of us are auditioning for the same things.
Right.
Like my coach at the time was auditioning for like the same princesses I was.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh, that's funny. You're like a 45-year-old woman.
Right,
You know?
right.
And I'm when you're like 18, like something kid. Like, but it's such a vast thing that it's like it's not it's cutthroat in a sense that like it's very competitive, but you're not like, oh, you better not,
Right.
because it's about
It's a
the
supportive
talent.
community.
Yeah, it is. It really is, and it's just so fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was it that first kind of got you down that path? When did you realize oh, I
totally.
can do silly voices? And
I didn't until I was in Seattle,
Okay.
and a casting director named Patty Callis I was training with. She's like, you have such a unique voice, you have to do voiceovers. And she sent me to a coach, Clem Daniels, who I started coaching with, and he just helped me, and I was really bad at like coming up with weird voices. Like I just wasn't the best, but I had a lot of personality and like was pretty good at like improvising and all of that. And I just kept working on it. We built like a little studio and then entered the broadcast world. So I think that helped as well.
Right.
But it wasn't until I was like consistently auditioning and like developing my own characters. And I think Matthew Steinridge, who was an EP on our show and helped create it, he had said in an interview, and I totally agree with him, and this is what a ton of like huge voiceover actors will tell you, it's not about creating crazy voices, it's about like creating characters. So a lot of people can do crazy voices, but it's about like creating characters that like have their weird isms and things they say and just are able to be sustained, because like you better bring it, you know?
Right.
Like you're not like, you can't just like do SpongeBob for 30 seconds and like expect to book a show.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. So you
Truth.
Right, exactly. Drop that mic.
I just truth bombed myself.
No, I feel you. Absolutely.
Let's drink our water from
It's
the
getting real, guys. It's none of my business. Now you mentioned obviously you did, you're doing younger versions of these superstars, and you do a lot of roles like similar to that, right? Mm-hmm. Are there any roles that you do that are kind of wildly outside your comfort zone? Like I know The Rock's voice is like a little harder on your throat.
Yeah.
But like, do you have anything that's really wildly out there?
I booked a film called Pups United that was a Lionsgate film with Rob Schneider, and that was literally from watching you. I'm just like, I'm probably like too honest.
No.
Like I'm probably supposed to like keep this mystery.
Let's keep it 100 in here.
But I mean, I could speak French, not like fluently, but I did at one point. So one dog, so I booked 2 of the like lead dogs, and one was French and one was Russian. And I like do not do Russian accents. Like,
Sure.
people aren't like, Ashley's our girl to do a Russian accent. But I was like, all right, I guess. Like a lot of times you're just like, I guess I can do that.
I've seen cartoons.
Yeah, like I've seen a Russian person once in my life.
Right.
And so I was just like watching a YouTube video, and I was learning from the person on my own, and then I just went in
How to
and
like do an
recorded it.
accent?
And then I just went and recorded it.
Really?
And I booked it. Yeah. It was like, all you people I don't know.
Bro.
Yeah, it was like a lot of, but it's like so funny because it's a dog, so I don't know.
That's so funny. That's exactly. I have a friend of mine through wrestling. He was a big wrestling superstar in Mexico, but he's from Moldova. Which is very close. And the running joke, our impression of it is, bro, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Bro, and you always kind of have to, bro.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. And it's very,
like,
it's very kind of guttural. Yeah.
Yeah, just like go down here.
Sure.
You know? And then like the dog that was French, I was like, I don't know. They fleur. And then I just started speaking French.
So
but,
where did you said you had spoke French at one point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I trained in French.
Sure.
I just studied French at my little high school, Westlake High. Anyone?
Cleveland. Is that in Cleveland? Okay.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Okay.
And I didn't realize, like, you're just going through the program. I was like on this advanced track, but then you don't realize how far you're learning until you get to college, and they're like, you are super good in French. I'm like, I don't think so. But they put me in like literature as a freshman. I like skipped 3 levels.
Oh wow.
And it was so intense, like so it was only French, and you're studying literature and having to talk about it in French.
Oh boy.
And then I transferred schools, and that was the end of the French career.
I know exactly what you mean.
I was like, bye.
I used to take language class after language class, and as soon as it got hard, I was like,
yeah.
Nah.
I was one class away from my minor, but my other school didn't have it, so I was like,
I see. I see.
Yeah.
So now you mentioned that. I know at one point you went to Italy. You lived with did you live with a host family?
Look at you doing your research.
Do my homework.
I'm so impressed. So many people are like, who are you? What are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. Like,
This is AFTERBUZZ, guys.
Be my friend. This is AFTERBUZZ. This is after a B, by the way. We just discovered this a few minutes.
We meaning you. It's the royal we. The royal we.
We together.
You.
Yes.
Yes. It's
Italy.
all, guys. I don't know if you know. There's a theme. AFTERBUZZ, yellow and black. It's all very.
Yeah, I was telling Ty that I've known about AFTERBUZZ
Thank
for
you,
a while.
Steven.
Oh! I thought that was like let's wrap.
No,
up. I was like,
no.
I understand.
Steve's on board. All green lights from Steven.
Perfect.
But anyway, yeah. So tell me about your experience with Italy.
Yeah.
You went as part of a program, right?
Yeah, so I won a scholarship to be a travel correspondent for this program called Green Heart Travel. So you live with a family, and I was a travel correspondent, so I would go and make videos and like write about my experience and travel, and it was very loose. Like it was like, do whatever you want,
Sure.
as long as you're teaching like 10 hours a week. And it was so amazing. I stayed in Sicily, and my family's Sicilian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that why you decided to go to Italy, or did that just happen to be the program?
You know, it was like a few reasons. I was like, that was a point where I was like, do I pursue acting or reporting?
Right.
And I was like, okay. And then I saw the opportunity. I was like, I need to just make my crazy video that got me the scholarship. And I was like, okay, I really always wanted to go to Italy and like live there, and I never got to in college. So that was like, it was just such an experience, and I'm so thankful for it because living with Italians is so different than just visiting Italy. Like,
that immersion is the extra step. Sure.
Yes, and all my Italians were like amazing. Like I call them my family. Like they are so incredible. And Siracusa. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So do you speak now? Did that obviously helped your Italian skills? How much Italian do you speak?
I spoke niente, none before, like none at all. And I will tell you, after like 7 weeks in Italy, some of my friends that were from Sicily, when I met up with them in Rome on week 7, by week 7, our full day was in Italian.
Wow.
So I think I have like a knack. Like I didn't know, but I think I pick up really fast.
Sure.
Yeah. And so it's been like 2 years since, so I can't like speak super well anymore.
More than most, though.
Yeah, I can. Like, it comes back to me. It's really weird. I think I have a sort of photographic memory, which is easy for me to memorize scripts really fast.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So people like that in like
so when
the
it comes
comedy
to
world.
language flashcards and stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like super fast. But Italian and French, like to me, they look really similar on paper.
Yeah.
So I would be speaking to someone in French who I met in Italy, but then it would turn into Italian. It was just, and like not really, like it was like mostly English, but I was like, da. I'd be like, je suis andare al cinema. And like, that's not a sentence.
It's a little bit of both.
That's not anything someone can comprehend.
You speak a little bit of French, a little bit of Italian.
Yeah.
Any other weird talents or anything?
My other family's Jewish. What a thing.
It's a hidden talent, guys. It's very special.
A hidden talent.
Yeah.
I mean, I could like my tongue can touch my nose. I don't know why people think that's like so incredible.
That's
I'm like,
rare.
That's
Yeah,
not,
sure.
Is that?
Sure.
So I could do that. Hidden talents.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like
Something super weird.
now we're discovering I'm like the least talented person.
But you speak all these languages. You're like, you
Yeah.
could be like a sleeper agent.
Yeah, I'm really good at like giving advice, like relationship advice, but
Okay.
not like taking it myself.
Right? That's always how
I've
it
noticed
goes.
that.
That's always how it goes.
Yeah. Other than that, good at trying weird food.
Interesting. Okay, I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, are you?
I'm awful at trying not weird food.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you're not up for it.
No way.
I was that kid who was like, "Give me the squid."
Oh, no way. Absolutely not. No way.
Really?
I'm up for anything in life as long as it doesn't involve food.
Oh my gosh, that's
100%.
so sad to
I know,
me.
it's
I like want to
awful.
take you on an adventure.
Oh, it's the worst. I'm the worst. I'm garbage. I'm awful.
Really? Are you like, I'm strictly eating my like salad or pizza or whatever?
Usually,
Yeah.
it doesn't affect like if I'm going out with people, it doesn't affect where we go. Like I can
Yeah.
find something that I like anywhere, but that's a very short
Can't
list.
hang with my crew.
That's a very no way. Absolutely not. Absolutely
My
not.
crew's not super, and I don't even know why I act like I have a crew.
But that's awesome. No, you can give advice. You can speak these different
Yeah.
languages.
But it's funny. Someone asked me this because they were like, "Were you always in comedy?" And
Mm-hmm.
I think like this is again, I'm like making up talents as we speak because
Sure.
you asked me about my talents.
Absolutely.
But I think a huge thing is that I never felt weird about like just putting myself out there. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know to not do that as a kid. Like I didn't have some sort of
You felt like everyone's like that.
yeah, so I would like run around in like grocery stores. I was always like singing and like just being crazy because I
Right.
really wanted to be discovered.
I was just gonna
like
say
I'm
you wanted
not
to be
kidding.
discovered.
I did
Right.
a stand up on my one and only stand up I ever did.
Oh, I heard this.
Yeah, oh no. But like that was a true thing. Like I always was like, I'm gonna be discovered, y'all. And
Sometimes you got to do
So-
bits in the middle of the store.
Yeah, so,
because
like-
you never know.
you really never know. Like those commercials on those radios that was like, if you're 20 and 5 million years old. So yeah, I don't know. There was just never like some sort of barrier. So I think that actually is a gift
Sure.
because, especially in the comedy world, like I don't really care. Like anyone will just tell me to do something on a set, and I'll just like do it.
All green lights.
Yeah, I mean that sounds so bad. Like,
Not at all. No.
anything,
No.
but-
It's within reason.
Yeah, I'm
We've
not
got
scared.
smart viewers.
Yeah,
They
you
know.
know.
They know.
No pornography.
Within reason.
Every time I say something uncomfortable, I always like switch my accent. I'm like, no pornography.
Ashley.
That's what happens to me on dates. I'm like, I just switch voices because I get nervous.
Right. So okay, so you mentioned dipping your toe into stand up. You
Yeah.
did stand up, voice acting,
Yeah.
live acting. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Hosting. You've done all these different things.
Yeah.
Is there any one of those that's kind of that you
thing.
lean a little bit more heavily into? That's maybe a little bit more rewarding.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I am most rewarded, I would say, doing acting, especially in television and my voiceovers.
Okay.
In voice acting, but also in creating. Like, that's
Yeah,
huge for me. Like,
sure.
I love being able to create and write and direct and produce. And, like, our series, We're Not Friends.
We were a perfect segue.
Yeah,
We're
perfect.
Just
How
getting
did I
to it.
know?
Let's
My
take the
journal-
segue. Yes. Let's talk about
But
that. Your brand new show, premiering next week.
Yes,
Trailer just dropped today.
it did.
Let's talk
Like,
about this.
secretly. It was supposed to drop.
It's super secret. Guys, you're hearing it here first. Exclusive.
Exclusive. You wanted.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
I mean, I did post it on Twitter. So like,
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
All
No,
right,
you didn't.
We'll just pretend.
No, you didn't. It's fine. It's
Perfect.
fine. ABTV, guys. You heard it here first.
ABTV.
So where did tell me about the premise. Where did it come from? Yeah.
Yeah, premise.
It's you and Don.
Yeah, me and my writing partner Don DiPetta. It came from us acting together in workshops, and I noticed he was super talented. But like, I was like, he doesn't talk to anyone. Like, I was like, oh, he's like that cool guy, and I was like the annoying, relentless girl. But we both acknowledged that we were both like talent. Like, we both love improvising, and we both are like witty. And there's something about us that we just like. We're not trying to please anyone, and I think that was appealing to both of us. But I reached out to him, and I actually like snapped or saved. I'm really good at like social media words.
Okay.
But I screenshotted the message I sent
Oh,
him. So I
sure.
was like, "Yo, DiPetta, we should make like an Italian film together." And I like had to get his
Yo,
like.
DiPetta.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah, I crushed it. And like I had to like get his Facebook from someone because he like wasn't like offering that out.
Oh, he's like one of those guys that's like, no.
Like, he's that cool kid that you have to, like, go up to.
You have to, like, we have to talk several times before you can get to that level.
And I was still like, hey, come be my friend.
Right. Let's be Italians together.
Yeah, that's literally how I staged it.
Right.
I was like, Italian mafia film. Like, I'm going to do that. But I was like, whatever. And he was like, anything with you. And I was like, ha, but seriously.
No, but
He's
really.
like, no, but really. I was like, oh, awesome. And again, like, I followed up with him like 20 times. And eventually we just got together. And the first day we got together, we came up with our premise. And we did not know what it was going to be. We're like, we just want work that showcases what we bring to the table, because we're both kind of like out of the box. Like, we're not your typical leading men and women.
Sure.
But that's what I love about where this industry is going. It's going more towards real people and depicting what this society actually looks like nowadays.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Totally. So we just knew we wanted to create something that just got our talent out there, that we got to practice writing, and we didn't know if that was going to be a film, and then it turned into a web series.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then people, the more we wrote, and when we started filming, and we did our first 4 episodes, but we didn't release them yet, and our reps were seeing them, they were like, this could be a real TV show. Like, this is good writing. We're like, my gosh. Everything immediately got so serious. We're like, okay.
Hang on.
Next 4 episodes.
Now
so,
that you put it that way.
yeah, you'll notice, like, the first 4 episodes are great and I love them, but the last 4 are like,
That's when it really kicks
yeah.
into.
Like, I think it kicks in the pilot,
Sure.
but, like, there's potential.
Right.
But totally.
There you go. There you go. So
yeah.
it's what is it? It's 8 episodes?
Yeah, 8
Okay.
episodes our first season.
Okay.
But we're already like, yeah, it's fun because people at different big agencies and stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, like my friend who works at a big agency this week, she was like, someone needs to cut you guys a check and put this on a network. And like, that's where, I mean, if it's not this, like, we just want to keep creating something that we really love. And we always remind each other that, like, we're like, if we love it, let's just do it, and other people will love it too.
Yeah.
And that's a note that I got from Camp WWE.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, I like just love that group. And Aaron Blitzstein had said to me, he was like, you just need to create something that you love, and people will love it too, and just not worry about catering to everyone.
Right.
I feel like that's easy to do, to cater to everyone, because everyone has so many opinions.
Yeah. If you enjoy it, you're putting it out in the universe. That's for
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, it's like a scary thing, but once you kind of get over that and you're like, who cares?
Right. Absolutely.
It's freeing. It really is.
Right.
Because people like end up looking up to you, even if it sucks. Like, it's, who cares? You did it. Like, that's an accomplishment in and of itself.
Yeah, definitely. So is it going to be dropping weekly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Dropping weekly. 8 episodes. It's gonna be awesome.
On the tubes.
yeah.
On the YouTubes.
On the tubes. And we're so excited. Like, we have a ton of artists who have signed on as well. Like, all our actors, like, most of them are on different TV shows, which is so exciting. Amy Linden is incredible. She was one of my teachers, and
Really?
she's like an incredible teacher, booking coach. And I was like, would you mind? And she looked at the script and she's like, absolutely. And I was like, that was such confirmation to me. I was like, Amy
This must be good.
Linden has
Right.
been on so many TV shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
works all the time.
So
Yeah.
tell me about the premise. Tell me about what the
Oh,
show's
yes.
about.
Oh my gosh. I'm really good at that. Breathe. No,
That's
but the
awesome.
premise is about, it's about kind of 2 different 20-somethings that literally come from opposite sides of the track. So Don is an ex-minor league baseball player and ended up having to, like, stop his career, and his fiance leaves him. And Ashley is the total opposite. She's the upbeat, relentlessly positive, aspiring news reporter who's naive, new to LA, like, always does her research, always the one, like the John Cena character in Camp WWE, always comes
very
prepared,
earnest, right.
always, like, thinks positive.
I love
and
the word that you keep. I love that you keep saying relentless. Relentless is my favorite, like, part of that.
That is, I will tell you, my friend Tyler called me relentless one day last year, and it changed my life.
It's great.
Because it made it positive.
I
was like,
always say
yes.
relentlessly optimistic is my favorite.
That was one of my taglines.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that's part of my tagline.
Awesome,
I love
awesome.
it. Because it's like, it's, yeah, aggressive, and that's, but aggressive at times is looked at as a negative thing, and I don't, and I didn't want to, like, embody that. I want
No.
it to be positive. And so they end up having to live together under one house
Sure.
and going through life together, and there's so many ups and downs between them, and you're getting to really see the life of 2 20-somethings that have had totally different lives but are experiencing real-life challenges that we face right now that you haven't seen yet. You really haven't seen that yet on TV. So, like, student loans, like, dating, like, everything has changed in the last even 5 years. And it's really fun. Like, we bring a lot of comedy to the table, but we also bring the drama because it's like it's like life. Like, things happen, and that's what we like about it. It's not a multicam, it's a single cam. We wanted it to be grounded, so it is gonna be funny, but there are definitely ups and downs, and we have so many different like character interactions and just kind of helping each other like become our best selves, but not also knowing what that is and what that looks like. And it's kind of like you're giving advice and you're not knowing how to take it yourself. And
like you said about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Someone else I work with who's incredible, he had called it the New Girl. Like, it's kind of like the New Girl meets Odd Couple.
Okay.
And that's how I see it as well.
Sure.
Because Odd Couple, they already had their lives figured out, you know, like they were like mature, but we're trying to figure it out. And we're also so opposite. So it's like you're always like, oh, are they going to be friends? Are they not going to be friends? Are they going to be more than friends? Come so close yet so far.
Right.
Bam. So it's so fun to watch.
That's how it happens.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think you fall in love with each character, but you also get mad at each character. Like,
sure. It's just it's like you said, it's like real life. It's relatable. Watching the trailer, which you guys should absolutely check out on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's relatable in such a hyper specific way.
Thank you.
That it's like the people that you love, like, you also kind of hate them sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that's what's beautiful about him and I. Like, we're not writing to make ourselves look good. Like, it's fine if I have tears down my face and, like, I look like a mess. And he's fine with looking like a jerk. Like, we're not trying to, like, be beautiful. And
it's, and it's interesting that you mentioned that because you guys are, you know, the characters' names are Ashley and Don.
Yeah.
You're playing versions of yourself.
Yeah.
Does that make it harder? Does that make it easier?
I love how you asked that question because most people ask, are you playing yourself? But I like how you said, does it make it harder or easier?
Yeah.
Because I will tell you, this is the first time I've said this out loud, is that it's both.
Okay.
Like, we are definitely embodying a part of ourselves and heightening it. But also because of that, like, writing it as creators, we're getting really close to it and really close to the material. So, I mean, like, any guy and girl, like, writing partner, like, you're just like, are we friends? Like, we would have such, like, debates, and, like, we've grown so much and come so far.
How much of this is real right now?
so much. Like, it was crazy. Like, literally shooting, I was like, I don't know if you're my friend. And but it's, like, what's beautiful. And now, like, I don't know, we're so close. I really, like, I just love my team.
Yeah, there's definitely chemistry there. It's so much fun to watch just from the little bit that I've seen.
Thank you so much.
So I'm definitely excited to see the actual episodes coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've talked about like voiceover versus live acting.
Yeah.
That's got to be. What do you think are kind of the difficulties and the pitfalls of each of those?
The difficulties.
Because I know you've done.
Sure.
I mean, you're obviously doing the series. You did Broad City, which was amazing. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
So yeah, how would you compare the challenges of the two?
I think in the challenges, especially in, like, on camera, when you're going out for these big things, you know, TV, film, honestly, even small things, and you get so close and then you don't hear back. Like, I think a huge challenge is not getting feedback, and you just have to be okay with it. And it's so real in the moment, and a casting director could be like, oh my God, that was fantastic. And I've had final callbacks for huge series with, like, 4 seasons guaranteed, and you're like, like, I can stop working at McDonald's. No, but, like, your life would change. And then when you don't, because it's so in person and so personal, and you become so attached to the characters, like, it can be devastating at times if you don't get it. But I don't really feel that anymore because I'm so used to, I'm like, if it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you. Like, I believe God has a plan for all of us, and I'm just trust, like, you kind of end up seeing why someone booked it too. Like, watching it, you're like, oh, okay, they brought, like, this other flavor to it. But
right.
So I think that's hard, is that you're like driving to all these studios and you're trying to, like, go on your callback, and then you're on a veil for that commercial, and then there's 12 other people who are on a veil too, not 12, but like 4 or 5, and then you don't book it, and you're like,
well,
breathe,
right,
you know? But so I think that's hard, and I think also seeing people who kind of look like you, who are constantly in the room, I think you can get in your head and you can start comparing yourself. Again, that's, like, something, like, I'm so glad I've overcome that with the help of others, because now I'm just like, dude, do you, boo? Like,
Right.
I think once you start like becoming confident in who you are and what you bring, it doesn't really matter who anyone else looks like, what they're bringing to the table in the
Yeah.
audition room, because they're either going to like you or they're not.
So do you think that's
Yeah.
something that's more specific to on-camera acting versus voiceover?
Yeah, I would say on camera, because voiceover, a lot of the auditions are like from your home studio or from your recording studio, and a lot of it is like you're not having to go somewhere, and like
Interesting, okay.
so you're not as present with
You're kind of
like,
disconnected from it a little bit.
yeah, and and you're just getting to create characters, and it's really fun.
Right.
That it is what it is, and then you send it, and then it's kind of it, you know. But when it's just like, okay, it's like messaging someone on like an app, like you're very disconnected to it. But if you meet someone in person, you're like automatically more attached.
Yeah,
Does
definitely.
that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But also, I would say you in voiceover, there's like a ton more auditions you have to do to
Right.
start. Yeah,
A lot
getting
more
yourself
auditions
known.
to
Yeah.
get those callbacks, to
Yeah.
land those gigs.
Yeah, but the beauty in both, I'll say a good part, is like the more you're consistently putting in the work and building relationships with people you want to collaborate with, the more they'll start to like remember you and see your face and want to work with you, and each thing will lead to another. Does that make sense?
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. There you go. So whether it's voice acting, whether it's on
Yeah.
camera, whether it's hosting, whether it's
Yeah.
stand up, you're gonna be crushing it.
Yeah.
But that's, oh my God, thank you so much for coming in.
Of course. Thank you so much for having
so
me.
quickly.
So quickly.
This was so much fun.
So fun.
But tell everyone out there, all of our lovely viewers,
Yes.
where they can find you online, what
course.
you've got planned for the rest of the year.
Of course. You can find me online at Twitter at Ashley Bornancin, ASHLEYBORNANCIN. Facebook, like the page.
Sure.
We're Not Friends. Subscribe to it on YouTube. Give us a shout out. Like, comment. I love like interacting with everyone on social media. I would love that.
There you
Yeah.
go. And
Yeah.
guys, as always, I'm at Ty Matthews PMA on Facebook, on Twitter, all sorts of social media. I'm on the Monday Night Raw after show. Ashley, thank you so much. And
so
remember,
much better at that.
Remember, lots of episodes, guys. Remember to watch Camp WWE on the WWE Network. Of course, keep an eye out for We're Not Friends dropping next week and for the next 8 weeks after that. And then just keep your eye on social media for Ashley, because she's gonna be crushing it.
Thank you.
So let's go out with a high five.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.